How would you see the world if you experience it in my shoes? For years, I've been traveling for work, seeing the world firsthand, but being unable to communicate to others what I see and how I feel. So a few years ago, I decided to teach myself how to film. Armed with a couple of lenses, a microphone, and a semi-professional camera, I began to record my unscripted life. What you are about to see is a slice of my life filmed between March and June of 2016, as lived in my shoes.
Yes. Oye, Rizka, do you want to help me make some coffee?
This is MIT's famous media lab. And this is the lab's pet dog, Silas. And this is me. Right now, we're all virtual. But the real world here at the media lab is even more extraordinary.
Yeah, put your both hands over your head.
Silas does tricks.
What? Whoa, you are a pro.
Whoa. Take me to Mars. While Gandalf takes me to the stars. Love that eye action. Some parsley. I host my own cooking show, drive a smart car, and for a brief, embarrassing moment, I become a cyborg. I'm Alan Alda. Join me for Inventing the Future on Scientific American Frontiers.
Growing up in the suburbs of Santiago, my main contact with science was through television. When cable penetrated Chile in the 90s, I began watching science, nature, and technology documentaries. Sometimes these documentaries included work at the MIT Media Lab, which is where now I work. One of the best shows of the 90s was Scientific American Frontiers. Frontiers was great because it demystified science. Alan Alda, the host, connected with the scholars at a personal level and often articulated the main point of their work better than them. One of the episodes followed the work of a group of grad students who called themselves cyborgs. These students were pioneering what we now know as wearable computing. And even though they competed and collaborated in different ways, they shared one thing in common. They recorded dozens of hours of video. These students were interested in capturing reality, but what I never got to see was a well-edited version of their videos. Maybe that was beyond their interest. But here I am, 20 years later, in a world where quality video is a commodity and editing is straightforward. And I'm trying to do the other part of a project that started when I was a teen. Recording actual real life and making it watchable.
This week I have to do 3 presentations. So on Tuesday, I presented at the Media Lab members event. This is an event in which the 80 to 90 companies that are members of the Media Lab consortia come, and we show them the progress that we've done on our research, but also show them what our groups are about and what our vision is. And we have a lot of conversations, and we have to provide a 10-minute on-stage presentation to help set up those conversations. On Wednesday night, I'll be traveling to Switzerland, and on Thursday, I'm giving a keynote at Schindler. Their CEO read my book and invited me to the annual event with all of their senior management, so there I'm going to be presenting why information grows. And then from Switzerland, I go to Portland, Oregon, where there's an event on communicating science, and I'm going to be presenting my tools in a talk that is going to be back-to-back with the psychologist Steven Pinker, which is a very famous psychologist and also a very famous popular book writer. So that's going to be fun, but I have to prepare all that shit now, so. There's no blows right on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen.
Papa kann backen, Mama kann backen.
No more did the king, so Hector protector was sent back again. Это
Okay, love you. See you later. Hello, how you doing? To MIT. Thank you. Have a good one. I have a new version of my presentation. Just a little bit modified. That goes faster than going down. Okay? Yeah? Yep. And the leap man. How you doing, sir?
How are you? Morning, sir. How are you?
Good. Are you ready?
No,
No?
no, never. We run as open a laboratory as we can.
And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge how amazing we are when we do things together.
Humans have dominated the earth because of the cooperative institutions they were able to create.
I'm going to talk about how we can better understand cities and the development of cities and the lives of people in those cities.
So over the past year, I've been working on a project called Spin, and Spin is essentially a tool to help people create playful digital animations of their tangible projects.
The reason we're able to have all of these competitors here is the Media Lab is almost more about ideas than it is about the actual intellectual properties.
Hello, my name is Cesar A and I run the Macro Connections group at the MIT Media Lab. To make data and information grow, we have to solve three problems. One is the problem of transmission, that one is the problem of storage, and that one is the problem of decoding. But the thing is that we don't always solve these problems simultaneously, so this generates cycles in our economy. At some point when transmission is good, the cost of storage vis-a-vis the cost of transmission start increasing, and you move up into a cycle where you're going to hit a point in which now storage is your binding constraint. And you get to a point in which now you have a lot of information that you have been able to store. It's very quickly to transmit, but you're going to face another problem, which is that of decoding. Now you need to interpret that information, and once you're able to interpret that information, when you're able to decode it, you're going to be able to generate new information that then all of a sudden you're going to need to communicate and transmit, and then once you solve the problem of transmission, you're going to have to solve the problem of storage and so forth. So that's how the economy would cycle between these three states. And what I would argue is that in the last few years we have been able to solve the transmission problem and the storage problem quite well. But we have not been doing very good when it comes to the problem of decoding, and that's the problem that we need to solve. Imagine now that when we're delivering public data, what we're doing is in some sense similar to what a store would do when they're trying to deliver goods. If the public data sets that we have created so far would be a supermarket in which all data is stored in boxes that look exactly the same. And maybe there is one person here or there that knows how to access each one of those things, which is, the database specialist within your company. So we know how stores solve this. This is the first floor of IKEA, and IKEA doesn't let people just roam around this first floor so they can find what they need. They actually build, on top of this, a second floor that allows people to decode what's inside those boxes. But the problem is that most of the open data sites that we have right now, most of the ways in which we store data is like building IKEA, but only building the first floor. We forget to build that second floor. So what we have been doing in my group is building that second floor of IKEA for a large number of data sets. But the thing is, you might say, well, I'm not interested in public data, I'm interested in my company's own data. So what we have been doing is creating tools that allow us to transform data into stories in 4 easy steps. So what Dive does, it helps you choose, visualizations. It helps predict which visualizations might be interesting. And if you're interested in a certain variable, you just choose it from the right-hand side menu, and then it's gonna give you visualizations that actually tell you something about, that variable. Then you can do statistical analysis, and then once you find all of the things that you want, you go to the compose page, and all of the things that you start or like are waiting for you there, and you can start writing your report right away. So you can see very simply in 4 steps, you can go from a data set to a story. What are the colors representing? What is red, what is purple, what is green? Before coming to the Media Lab, I was at another university, and there I hang out with some economists, but here at the Media Lab, I get to experience the economy. The people that are creative and are innovating in products, they are not like a profit-driven, calculating person. They are extremely artistic and whimsical, and what they're trying to maximize is not profit, but creative freedom, and they're trying to find ways of maximizing creative freedom in a context in which they get stimulated by other people. 20 years have passed since I was a teenager in the suburbs of Santiago and learned about MIT. Getting here was not easy. It involved a 12-year journey where I grew from a clueless college freshman to a young professor. But now that I am here, I get to work with the students that are also going through their own journey of self-discovery. A journey that can be difficult and intimidating. I've been here for 6 years now, and I've had the opportunity to work with the students and postdocs that also did not grow up in a place where MIT was considered a possibility. Students and postdocs from Macedonia, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, Bulgaria, Russia, Portugal, and Spain. I've also worked with the students and postdocs from backgrounds that are more common here. The students from the United States, China, India, Japan, Germany, and Israel. And I get to see most of these students grow, befriend each other, and learn that what brings them closer to others are things that transcend their national origins or cultural identities. Their passion for science and knowledge, their intellectual curiosity, their taste in music, their meaning on friendship, and their dedication to teamwork. And in this little bubble of foreigners, I try to make sure we contribute our grain of sand by helping invent a future that is more transparent and inclusive. Of course, preparing and delivering events like the ones you just saw is a tiring collaborative enterprise. But now, I need to move on to the next part of my week, which involves traveling more than 10,000 miles in the next 5 days.